This is South Evans Gulch, which is located about 50 minutes drive east of Leadville. And looking on that hill there, I noticed the remains of another mining town. So you notice there's a dump pile in that woods there. And then on the hill there, there's a couple of wooden structures. There's actually a wooden retaining wall. And then there's the remains of other dump piles. It's really interesting how they managed to fit that town right on that cliff side of that hill over there. I guess if that's where the ore is, that's where they needed to build their town. Looking down the gulch, there's actually a stream in the gulch, and that leads to the Arkansas River, and Leadville's in this general direction. So those hills over there in the background are on the other side of Leadville. So Leadville's between us and those mountains. I'm also standing on the remains of another retaining wall. So there's a few mining structures here as well. Looking on this retaining wall that I was standing on, I'm not completely certain what this was, but it was obviously some structure associated with the mine. Maybe this was put in place to keep one of the dump piles in place, or maybe it was part of some type of track that was used to get supplies into and out of this area. And up the slope from the retaining wall, there's the remains of another mine. So there's the dump pile associated with the mine, and there's the entrance to the mine. This is the top of that dump pile, and there's the remains of another shaft. And in the back, there's a collapsed frame. Looking over the dump pile, you see those pieces of cloth. Those are probably put in place to collect water, runoff water from these dump piles in order to prevent them from flowing into that creek below here. And in the background there's another wooden structure. And on the hill, there's that dump pile that I showed you earlier. And there's some more dump piles over there, so there must have been mines all the way up there. In fact, I think I see a mine frame at the very top of that hill. Here is the top of the first frame that I showed you. You can see how weathered the wood is. Looking down beneath the frame, you can see that they've obviously filled in the actual shaft part of the mine. There's been a lot of cleanup work done in these mines. And looking over the dump pile, I'm back at the other shaft and the collapsed frame.